So hi guys, the studio is set. Welcome to makeitrain.net. We got a great guest here today. The studio is all set. His name is Josh Warner. Josh is a hustler, guys. He hustles. He's up all night. He's up all day. You can call him anytime you want. So he's one of my favorite guys, a go-to guy. He's not just a realtor. He's actually an entrepreneur, okay? Josh is going to show you how to make it rain in this economy. People think this economy is shot and you can't make money. That's not true, guys. Josh, once he comes, he will show you guys how to make it rain in 2020, baby. So folks, as I said, Josh is finally here. There you go. And Josh is going to tell you how to make it rain in this economy, guys, okay? We talked about 2020, how coronavirus is affecting this economy, but Josh is killing it. So he's going to teach you a few tips and tricks so you guys can figure it out, okay? So Josh, thank you for coming here. The first question I want to start with is something that I ask everybody. Why real estate? Because real estate is brutal, it's saturated. There's a lot of people think they can make it big in real estate. What made you think like, I can do this, I can really be effective in this?
It's a great question. I'd say, so my quick backstory, I got into hospitality at a very young age. Okay. Through college, got a scholarship, figured out maybe I'd go into restaurants.
Yeah.
Opened a couple of businesses, started when I was 21, and by 25 I'd burnt out.
That's
too many hours, hard work. I didn't feel that I was excelling and exerting myself to a point where I really could. I was 25 years old, I didn't finish school. I had that entrepreneurial spirit from day one, and from there, what's next? Yeah. What can I do quick? I'm a people person. So I figured, how can I parlay my experience and knowledge in the hospitality field with my love for real estate, business, and people? I got my real estate license. It took a month. I read the books. It was easy. But what was next? I was left with 2 textbooks and a card saying I was a realtor.
Yeah.
I had no idea what to do.
So what do you do then? I mean, you have a card, your license. I mean, where do you go from there?
Well, I joined a team. It was probably the best decision I could have made. Joined a team that been in business since the 80s. Nice. So we have over 30 plus years in experience on the team. We're only 8 agents. So with that, having a mentor really helped me.
Having a mentor, that's key.
Jump started my career. Within my first month, I had my first listing, and it was a $2 million house.
Wow.
So it helped quite a bit. From there,
boost your energy, enthusiasm, right? So guys, check this out. Having a mentor is key. Okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So Josh, I mean, we're in coronavirus situation, pandemic, and it's really hard to talk to people, meet people, make that personal connection. So how do you see the market panning out in this situation, and how are you differentiating yourself to keep making it rain as you are?
Well, when it all started, there was a pause. We all freaked out, I think. It was a good 2 weeks, 3 weeks where we didn't know what to do. Yeah. So what I did was assess the market currently, and instead of trying to aggressively go after business and try to sell, I decided to take the approach that I've always taken in business and continued to establish relationships with people. So it created a mindset of, don't think about what's going on now, think about what is about to happen in the next 3 years.
It's a long game.
Always.
So guys, that's another tip, right? Always think about strategically, not just what's happening day to day, because it can really mess you up. You get bogged down in details and a daily life and routine, you're gonna lose perspective in the long-term game. When you buy a property, for example, when I buy a property, I don't think about this is the last property. I need to put all my money in this property. I think about what's the next one after this. So always, as they say in the race car driving, I took a course there, and they always talk about, don't look at the turn where you're at, look at the turn where you're going. So that's an analogy that you're. I know I heard somewhere, and it may be not true, but that most real estate agents sell like 6.5 houses a year or something like that. So were you a bit concerned about the fact that most real estate agents only sell 6.5 houses a year?
No. So when I decided to transition, I had owned two of my own companies. I had a catering and events business, and I also had a food truck.
Awesome. Oh,
when
a real entrepreneur, guys. Hustling in every field.
I love it. Love it.
Awesome.
The base of that's people, though.
So you're saying it's about the people, like your connection with the people, not really the business, structure and everything else and the processes.
I don't sell real estate. I provide an experience, and I like to use my experience in fine dining, fast casual, catering, doing weddings, very special occasions for clients. I take that skill and that passion and apply it to the real estate transaction. So I'm not selling you a house. I'm advising you and creating an experience from day 1 to year 10 after you've already moved in, and just continuing the relationship with you. That's what it's about for me. That's why I wanted to get into real estate personally.
Now, do you come across some really difficult clients that really give you a hard time and you want to pull your hair? Like, why did I? So how do you deal with that? Because in my business, I come up with lenders and closing deals and all that, and really difficult people sometimes, and I feel like, wow, is the world really gone crazy? The level of incompetence sometimes really gets to you. So how do you handle that? Because it's an emotional part that not everybody has mastered, but I feel like you're a calm guy. You always keep things at a level, and how do you do that?
Patience. Patience. You deal with every walk of life, every different personality in this business, and in yours as well. Everyone's going to come with their own style. Everyone's going to come with their own needs and their own baggage. And it's my job. I'm hired to do one thing, and that's get you a deal, negotiate, walk you through the entire process, start to finish, and then some. And it's not about how you are. My job is to essentially be a chameleon, to adapt to how you need me to advise you. So if you have a specific personality that I need to adapt to, I will do everything I can to do so sometimes. But I love the challenge. I love being able to get to know my clients and get to know what works for them. Sometimes you need to explain things in a different way.
Right. And that's a really great point, guys. You have to adapt to the situation. It's like, if you want to be the king of the jungle, you gotta be able to adapt environments. Environments will affect you. In this case, environments being the people. The property might be different, people might be different, situation might be different, price might be different. How do you handle that person, and how do you understand their personality, and then depending on them, talk to them in a manner that they understand? Some people talk fast, some people talk slow, some people are more assertive, some people are more passive, they don't ask questions, a lot of things, right? Yeah. So, you've achieved a level of success at a very young age, and I see you always hustling and doing more. So what motivates you? Don't you want to kick back and relax and be in Aruba and Jamaica somewhere and enjoy life a little bit?
In this current scenario. No, I've always had a hungry attitude. I was raised by an entrepreneur. 14, I had my first job. My dad said, "You want to take a girl on a date? You want $20? Go get a job." I had a job at a pizza restaurant. I did everything, waited tables. But that sense of accomplishment when you get that paycheck after that long week of work, for me, I think it did something different for me than I think a lot of people.
Most people, yeah.
And it just continued to motivate me.
It didn't destroy your ego, it actually built your character. I think so. I want to share a personal story with you guys. I used to park cars at night after my all-day long shift at school, where I was taking 6 classes a semester. And I love cars, so I used to get to enjoy nice cars. But I used to get a very small paycheck. We were literally like $10, $15 a night type of shift, but I loved it. I love the accomplishment, connecting with people. So embrace what you are doing right now. Don't be disheartened by the fact, again, think long term. That's the theme I'm learning from Josh. Think long term. This is not the last client. This is not the last property. This is not the last gig you're doing. You're going to be doing many other gigs in future. So you want to think long term, guys. Okay.
And to piggyback on that note, in real estate, for example, and this could go really to any industry that you're working in, right. Don't chase the paycheck. Don't chase the commission. That will negatively affect your business immediately. I've learned this in catering. I never worried about the money. If I provide a good experience, a unique experience, and something that just blows the client away, memorable, they'll come back to you, they'll refer you, and you have business for the rest of your career. If you only worry about the money, how much you're charging, the services you're providing, if you get caught up in the dollar signs, almost every time the service will lack, the experience won't be there, and the client won't, they hands down won't feel the same.
Right.
They just won't. So never chase commission. Don't chase the dollars. Chase the experience and enjoy the process.
So Josh, oftentimes people don't have the money. I don't have the money to become a real estate agent, or the expenses that are required. You know, there's car, there's gas, there's time, sacrifice, research and all that. If somebody doesn't have much money or a lot of money, can they still become a real estate agent and be successful like yourself?
Absolutely. Okay. I think anyone can be as successful as you want to be. That's the beauty of real estate, being a realtor specifically. I kept my businesses for the first 2 years of having my real estate license, and I was producing. I was doing anywhere between $8 and $10 million a year in volume, and that's anywhere from 18 to 25 houses a year. My first 2 years, I was busy. However, at ebbs and flows. The real estate market, no one knows where it's going. You have to plug in where you can, and it's a long-term business. The return clients, the referrals, that all comes with time.
Over time, yeah, because you're building a portfolio. I mean, you're not a well-known name in that household name by then. So
Exactly. You're building a brand. You're leveraging your mentor. You're learning, and you're continuing to learn and master your craft. And even if you don't own your own business, if you still have a job and you're working for somebody else, maybe cut your hours back a bit. But the most successful people in the world aren't where they are because they work 40 hours a week.
Yeah.
They're working 80 or more. Yeah. When shift number 1 is over, they get home and shift number 2 starts with that business that they want to create.
Yeah.
It's not easy. Becoming a realtor is not easy. It was a lot of hours, it was a lot of studying, a lot of education, a lot of phone calls, coffees, now virtual meetings.
Yeah.
But keep your job, keep a part-time job, keep cash flow, because it'll also allow you to continue to inject and reinvest into your real estate business, because it does cost money to make money. You have to spend.
Yeah, and I'm glad, Josh, you mentioned that it does cost a bit of money. So in this case, in this example, as Josh is saying, have a gig that is giving you the cash flow to inject into your future career and be strategic about it. Don't really think that you can't do something because you don't have the money. Most deals that I make, I don't have the money. I really don't have the money. In fact, one of the recent deals I did is within 15 minutes, I had the money. I called a few investors. The deal was solid. They looked at the deal. They said, you know what? It's a no-brainer. Let's do it. In fact, I got 3 competing offers with different variant rates. So I want to tell everybody this. Don't think about the money is what Josh is saying. Okay, money will come. This is not a 40-hour-a-week gig, guys. I mean, I call Josh whenever, from my gym, from my car, from my studio. He's always responding, and I'm like amazed. You call him 10 o'clock at night, 6 in the morning. This guy is on, and you have to be like that, in this market especially. Now, are there any takeaways in your experience in this journey of a realtor that other realtors, investors, people who are selling houses, and anything else can benefit from?
A big one, again, I keep harping on the relationship aspect of the business. Relationships are everything. I don't like the word client. It doesn't sound personal. I'm a big restaurateur out of New York. He's big on hospitality, and he has a saying, you should never feel like something's being done to you. It should always be that you feel it's being done for you. And I take that to heart in my real estate business as well. So with clients, relationships, how I speak to people, how I follow up, how I stay in touch, how I provide information. I try to do my best in making, wow, I just asked a simple question, yet you provided more than I needed. Yeah. Small example, right? Yeah.
Give more value than expected. Yeah.
Value's huge. Value's huge as well. How many realtors are there out there fighting for business? What can I provide that's different? And I think it's the experience. Honestly, think the platforms I use most, Instagram is awesome, and Facebook, really. Instagram and Facebook.
So do you want to share your handle on Instagram
and
Facebook?
It's pretty easy. It's at realtor Josh Warner, like the Warner Brothers. Follow me, DM me. I try to answer messages as quickly as I can. I am never too busy to answer questions.
Are there any upcoming challenges in your business that you're dealing with, and how do you face them? Like, what's your strategy of tackling a challenge? Like, 'cause, for example, I might get a call from a tenant and they're like, well, my bathroom was broken and I get stressed out and I try to calm down. So tell us a little bit about your challenges, upcoming challenges, and how you're gonna mitigate them.
Challenge that I'm currently tackling. My third year, full third year business, busier than ever. Everything's going really well. Failure rate in real estate's very high.
Very high, yeah.
About 87%.
And high turnover too.
Extremely high turnover. Another thing they say is 3% of agents do 97% of the business, right?
Oh wow, really?
Which gives you an idea of not everyone who has a license knows what they're doing. I do take extra time out of my day, out of my week for continuing my education, learning more about micro markets, macro markets, the economy, and plugging into my resources that I've established over the past few years to continue to get better and really become an expert at what I do. So with that, my third year of business has taken off. I'm starting to see referrals from my first year come back around and building and building and building with the relationships that I've built. I'm busy. Yeah. There's no ceiling in real estate. You can do as well as you want to do.
As many deals as you can handle, yeah.
Exactly. Yet without sacrificing on the client experience.
Right.
So again, being busier than I'm used to this past year, really, it's learning how to handle specific things. What can I delegate? What can I set up to allow me to spend more time personally with my clients? Is it paperwork, passing it along to an assistant, or setting up social media to post on its own every week and do lives every now and then? Is it more time management?
Yeah.
All things that I'm currently putting in place. So far, so good.
Josh, one of the things that I always get asked about, like, where should I be on social media, right? Because there's so many different platforms. Like, where do I go? TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, and this and that. Where do you suggest a new upcoming agent must be on to be able to engage with their clients and get more new clients?
Sure. Facebook, Instagram, huge. TikTok seems to be creeping up. Yeah. We'll see what happens with it. But real estate's definitely content driven. So it's a lot of visual, but it's also information. So again, with Instagram, Facebook allowing you to post photos, videos, videos of yourself speaking like we are doing now. But definitely Facebook and Instagram, I think that's where most of your audience is going to be. You're also leveraging your sphere that already follows you. Right? So a lot of these people are friends, family, acquaintances that you've met or run into over time. Right. So they need to know what you do.
Yeah.
And that's one thing I was taught when I first started. Everyone you speak with, anyone who's known you, knows you, they need to know you're a real estate professional.
Right.
Because if they don't, they're going to call their friend or their cousin,
someone else who does,
who they knew had a license that might be terrible.
Yeah.
And you're ready and hungry for their business. So if they don't know.
Now, one thing that really, and this pisses me off, guys, is that some agents, they offer you cuts and commission and all that, or I'm gonna give you 2.5% and all that. Like, I mean, how do you feel about that? Because it seems like they're just really discrediting their other agents by offering these massive cuts. I mean, I understand if you want to give somebody a few $1,000s back because you want to get their business again. How do you feel about that?
So another big part of how I run my business is running it on a baseline of being ethical.
Yeah.
Ethical and honest. We are not legally allowed to give any sort of commission to a non-licensed individual. So if it's a buyer, if it's a seller, I cannot say, hey, I'm going to sell your house.
Yeah.
After the deal's done, I'll cut you back another $5,000.
Right.
It's illegal. It's done.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate, but the way I see it is I know I'm going to bust my butt for my clients. I'm going to work hard and I'm going to earn my commission.
Right.
Am I going to overcharge? No. Am I going to charge a fair fee?
Yeah.
Of course, because I know what I'm worth. I'm going to earn my commission. So with that, will I discount my service for someone because they just want a credit?
Yeah.
It's situational.
Right.
I'm not going to say I don't, cut some clients a break. It comes down to the situation, scenario, the relationship with that person. It happens. It definitely happens. Because we're in a world now where you always look for a deal, right?
Right.
Again, if they're willing to discount their personal income, that's how we make money. We're 100% commission based.
Right.
A lot of these discount brokers, however, will employ agents, so they are employees. They're W-2 employees, to my knowledge, and
So like brokers, or?
They're not incentivized by commissions.
Okay.
In turn, they're able to offer you a lesser rate of commission in selling, buying, whatever. But the level of service and the level of knowledge and expertise, in my experience, is just not there.
Yeah.
It's just not there.
There's no incentive to go the extra mile to earn
or
their
get
business.
you the extra $10,000 in your price, or connect you with the resources and contacts you've built, whether it's a contractor, a home inspector, a lender even. You know, in our industry, there are a lot of moving parts, a lot of individuals involved. They're a dime a dozen. And you want to work with someone who's going to take care of your best interest. Whether they're a little more expensive or not, you know, if it's one thing if you can't afford it. It's another if you're just trying to save a penny on what could cost you a few dollars in the long run. So with discounting my service, when I'm talking to someone that, well, cut me a break. If this is first time I'm meeting this person, we have no relationship, I'm going to say, you're asking me to discount my expertise. Yeah. How do you think the other person who's willing to discount their work is going to handle a negotiation for you? If they're that easy and they crack on, you know, cutting their rates, you think they're going to sell your house for top dollar?
No.
And advocate for you? Probably not.
No.
Because they're chasing the money.
Yeah,
they want the quick buck. That's just not how I do things.
Look at the bigger picture, not just the smaller piece of the pie. And house is a big investment. A realtor on your side is really, really critical. I can't tell you how many times people got screwed on home inspections, wasn't done properly, or was missing a document. I even had one closing where I didn't get the money after closing. You know, I had to wait weeks for the other party to sign, and there were some outstanding taxes left. Your realtor can check those things for you. Like you said, there's so much paperwork involved. It may seem like you go for a 30-minute closing and sign a whole bunch of things, but if you read through all those things, which a realtor should do, it's a lot of critical stuff. It can come back and bite you.
It can. It can.
Yeah. So he's the real deal, guys. Otherwise, he won't be here. I only bring people that I have personally worked with, and if I find out through any client or someone that they're not performing, I will put that out there also. Social media will tell you if somebody is doing a good job or not. I like to keep things honest. But thank you, Josh, for coming here. Appreciate you guys, man. It's COVID, otherwise I'll give you a hug. But
thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming, man. All right.
Hi.
Yes, Gooby. Get down, beta. He loves you too.